All right, I believe we are live. Hello and welcome everybody. I'm not sure if we should give it a few more moments to allow for people to join, or if all participants are already with us. So we'll just spend a few more moments allowing a bit more time for people to join. But in the meantime, for all those who are already present with us, very warm welcome to this fireside chat entitled Bridging the Gap, Integrating Global Citizenship Education in Local Curricula with Dr. George de la Cruz. Now today, we're diving into how global citizenship education can be effectively integrated into classrooms worldwide to empower young people and prepare them for local and global challenges. My name is Philipp Harnik. I work as a program officer for the Transformative Education portfolio at the Ban Ki-moon Center for Global Citizens, which is headquartered in Vienna, and where our work focuses on both global citizenship education as well as education on sustainable development. I'm very thrilled to be given the chance to be moderating today's session. And just before I give a short introduction of our expert speaker, I'd just like to briefly touch on this concept of global citizenship education, which I believe most of our audience members will be well familiar with. But just in case it's a new concept for some of you, so UNESCO officially defines GCED as a transformative lifelong pursuit that involves both formal and informal learning to foster knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes that enable individuals to thrive as responsible global citizens. Now, in simpler terms, global citizenship education is about teaching students to understand the world beyond their immediate environment, and it instills values like empathy, respect, and responsibility, enabling young people to think critically, engage meaningfully with others, and act responsibly at both local and global levels. Now, without much further ado, it is an immense pleasure to be welcoming our expert speaker, Dr. George de la Cruz. Dr. de la Cruz looks back on a very impressive career. He has over 23 years of experience in education, with additional backgrounds in journalism and local government. He currently serves as a master teacher at Mandalagan National High School. I hope I pronounced that somewhat acceptably, in the Philippines. And he's been a passionate advocate for global citizenship education, especially in his role as a mentor to educators across the Asia-Pacific region, and also through the Global Schools program. Now, I'll leave it here and would hand over to you, Dr. de la Cruz, for your presentation, and the floor is yours.
Magandang araw po sa lahat. It's our Filipino way of greeting. Good day, everyone. So first of all, I would like to say thank you, Philip, for that kind description of myself, for the kind introduction. So my assigned topic for today is about bridging the gap, integrating global citizenship education in local curricula. First, let me start my discussion by unlocking the phrase bridging the gap. All right. So, bridging the gap. This means that it is the process of connecting or reconciling differences between two or more entities, whether they be individuals, groups, concepts, or situations. So it involves efforts aimed at reducing disparities, fostering understanding, and creating alignment to achieve common goals. And such as in education, social issues, business, and technology. This term is commonly used in various contexts, highlighting proactive approaches to overcoming obstacles and enhancing collaboration. Specifically, in terms of education, integrating global citizenship education in the curriculum, especially in the local curricula, is the imperfect approach in bridging this gap. So, for our session objectives, I have here three. First, increase understanding of global citizenship, which will provide participants or you with a comprehensive understanding of what global citizenship entails and its significance in today's interconnected world. Second, to explore effective integration strategies, which is about identifying and discussing effective strategies for integrating global citizenship education into existing local curricula across various subjects. And of course, the last, sharing best practices. So later on, you may share what you have, your best practices, or maybe inspiring practices that you have implemented in your respective learning communities or institution, which will about facilitating and sharing, okay, your best practices and successful case studies from educators and institutions that have effectively implemented global citizenship education. So, as an introduction, in an increasingly interconnected world, the challenges we face, ranging from climate change and social inequality to political instability and cultural conflicts, demand a new generation of learners equipped not only with academic knowledge, but also with a profound understanding of their roles as global citizens. GCED, or Global Citizenship Education, emerges as a vital framework that seeks to prepare individuals to engage thoughtfully and responsibly with these complex issues. So, by fostering critical thinking, empathy, and a sense of shared responsibility, GCED empowers the students to navigate the intricacies of both local and global contexts. As education systems worldwide grapple with the implications of globalization, the need to integrate GCED into local approaches or curricula becomes paramount. Traditional educational approaches often emphasize national identity and local context, which can inadvertently limit students' awareness of global interdependence. However, by bridging this gap, educators can cultivate a curriculum that not only honors local heritage, but at the same time embraces the diverse perspectives and challenges that characterize global society. So, in an era of marked by rapid globalization, the integration of GCED, or Global Citizenship Education, into local curricula has become increasingly essential. So GCED aims to equip learners with the knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes necessary to navigate and address complex global challenges such as climate change, social inequality, and cultural conflict, as this is highlighted by UNESCO. GCED, GCED fosters a sense of belonging to a global community while encouraging active participation in local and global contexts. Historically, education systems have focused predominantly on national curricula that emphasize local context. However, the interconnectedness of today's world necessitates a more holistic approach to education. The emergence of supranational institutions and regional economic blocs has transformed educational landscapes, prompting a re-evaluation of how citizenship is taught. Global education has evolved from early 20th century efforts to promote international cooperation to contemporary frameworks that emphasize human rights, peace, education, and sustainable development. So this evolution reflects a growing recognition that local actions have global repercussions, making it imperative for students to understand their roles within this broader um, context. All right, so here, the COVID-19 pandemic has further underscored the interconnectedness of global issues, revealing how local actions can have far-reaching consequences. So in this context, GCED serves as a transformative educational approach that empowers learners to understand their roles and as active participants in both local and global communities. So GCED fosters essential skills such as critical thinking, empathy, and intercultural understanding, which are crucial for addressing contemporary challenges. By equipping students with these competencies, education systems can cultivate a generation capable of engaging thoughtfully with global issues and contributing to sustainable solutions. Furthermore, aligning educational practices with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, particularly Target 4.7, emphasizes the importance of fostering global citizenship as a means to promote peace, justice, and inclusivity. So, therefore, in light of these developments, integrating GCED into local curricula is not merely an educational enhancement, but it is a necessary response to the demands of a globalized society. It prepares students to become informed citizens who can navigate cultural diversity and advocate for social change or social justice while remaining grounded in their local context. Um, Integrating global citizenship education into local curricula highlights the potential to enrich students' learning experiences and prepare them for active participation in an increasingly complex world. Ultimately, bridging the gap between global citizenship education and local curricula is not merely an educational imperative, but moral obligation that reflects our shared responsibility to nurture informed, compassionate individuals capable of meaningful change in their communities and beyond. So, the relevance of integrating GCED into local curricula resonates deeply with educators, policymakers, and community leaders who are committed to fostering responsible citizenship among students. For educators, this integration provides an opportunity to enrich their teaching practices by incorporating diverse perspectives and real world issues into the classroom. This not only enhances student engagement, but also prepares them for active participation in a democratic society. And for policymakers, promoting GECD aligns with broader educational goals aimed at developing critical skills necessary for the 21st century workforce. As highlighted by the World Economic Forum, skills such as analytical thinking, creativity, and problem solving are increasingly sought after by employers. By prioritizing GECD within educational frameworks, policymakers can ensure that students are equipped with the competencies required to thrive in a global economy. Moreover, community leaders and organizations have a vested interest in fostering global citizenship among youth. And by supporting initiatives that integrate GCED into local curricula, they can help cultivate a sense of belonging and responsibility among young people. So this empowerment enables students to engage meaningful with their communities while addressing broader societal challenges. So for the United Nations, SDGs particularly target 4.7 of SDG number 4 underscore the importance of integrating GCED into educational frameworks worldwide. So this target emphasizes the need for learners to acquire knowledge and skills that promote sustainable development and human rights. So by embedding GECD into local curricula, educators can cultivate critical thinking and empathy among students, enabling them to engage with pressing global issues while respecting their cultural heritage. And despite the recognized importance of integrating GCED into local contexts, several challenges persist. So educators often encounter barriers such as limited resources, like what I have experienced in our school, insufficient training in global competencies, and resistance to curricular changes that prioritize global perspectives. Moreover, there is a need for collaboration among educators, policymakers, and communities to create inclusive educational environments that reflect both global interdependencies and um, local realities. So, in terms of local integration in the curricula, so first, enhance global awareness. So this will cultivate students' understanding of global issues and their interconnectedness with local context, fostering a sense of responsibility towards both local and global communities. At the same time, aligning with Sustainable Development Goals by the United Nations, of which my country, Philippines, is one signatory. So to ensure that educational practices contribute to achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, particularly Target 4.7, which emphasizes the importance of education for sustainable development and global citizenship. Another is encourage active participation, which inspires students to engage actively in civic life, both locally and globally, through community service projects, advocacy, and participation in democratic processes, and promoting empathy and inclusivity. So this is to encourage students to appreciate cultural diversity and develop empathy towards others, particularly marginalized groups, thereby fostering a more inclusive environment. And the last is develop critical skills. So this will equip students with critical thinking, problem solving, and communication skills necessary for addressing complex global challenges such as climate change, inequality, and social justice. So here, as you can see in the slide, there are four, okay, most important methods
A
for us to be
brief
able.
interjection, Dr. De La Cruz, we actually cannot see the slides. I believe you need to grant permission. There should be a button somewhere.
Oh, it's not presenting.
I believe
Sorry.
you should, there should be a button where you should grant permission to allow the audience to see the slides.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, now a window is opening.
Okay.
However, now we just saw your screen, I believe.
Okay, just a moment. How about this one?
1 second, something is opening.
Can you see it now? Can you see it now?
It's
I'm so
loading
sorry.
still.
Oh, how about this one? Can you see it now?
Yes, now it works.
Okay, my apology. Okay, so here, integrating GSED into local curricula can be approached through various methodologies that promote active learning and student engagement. So first is which is common in our school, in our division. So this is about PBL, project-based learning. So um, this approach involves students working, okay, on real-world projects that address global issues while allowing them to apply their knowledge in practical context. So PBL fosters collaboration, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills as students engage with community partners to implement their projects. So this is what we do in our school. So we bring our students to the community on a principle that bringing school closer to the community. So where we tie up with the barangay or the community. Another is participatory teaching strategies. So utilizing methods such as discussions, debates, role-playing, and simulations encourages students to explore global issues from multiple perspectives. So these strategies promote critical thinking and enable learners to express their values while respecting diverse viewpoints. And third is interdisciplinary curriculum design. So integrating GCED across various subjects such as social studies, science, language arts, and arts helps students make connections between local experiences and global challenges. This holistic approach enriches their learning experience and deepens their understanding of complex interdependence. For community engagement, collaborating with local organizations and communities allow our students to engage in service learning opportunities that connect classroom learning with real world applications. So they have the immersion, community immersion. So this involvement fosters a sense of agency and responsibility among learners. So geared towards effective and efficient implementation of GCED in the local curriculum or curricula. So for an expected outcome of GCED integration, first is increased engagement. So schools that have successfully integrated GCED report higher levels of student engagement, just like in our school. In fact, we've been starting implementing GCED or integration in our classroom and campus activities as well in the community since 2022. So yeah, and students become more invested in their education when they see its relevance to the real world issues. Another is enhanced critical thinking skills. Research indicates that students exposed to GCED methodologies demonstrate improved critical thinking abilities as they analyze complex issues from various perspectives. Empathy development, programs that incorporate intercultural exchanges of collaborative projects with diverse communities have shown significant improvements in students' empathy levels and understanding of cultural diversity. And active citizenship. Students who participate in GCED initiatives are more likely to engage in civic activities such as volunteering, advocacy campaigns, and community organizing. All right. So as to figures, based on reports and statistical report in a global perspective, here on this slide, developed versus developing regions, it shows that higher integration rates in developed countries with approximately 70% including GCE in policies compared to 40 to 50% in some developing countries. In Europe and North America, 80% of these countries have formally adopted GCE within national education standards. Many have dedicated curriculum students for themes like diversity, human rights, and sustainability. For the Asia Pacific, it's 60% of countries include GCE at some level, with Japan, South Korea, and of course my country, Philippines, leading in comprehensive GCE modules. In our case, in our country, the Philippines, we have this Republic Act 11476, which is about integrating good manners and right conduct and values education in our curriculum, okay, in our curriculum, which mandates integration, of course, of values education, including GCE principles. In Africa and Middle East, it's about 35%. And while in Latin America and Caribbean, 50%, okay, have adopted, like in case of Brazil, Argentina, and Chile. And in terms of teacher training, 65% of teachers in GCE supporting countries feel they lack adequate training, just like in the Philippines. Not all of, especially in the basic education. When I say basic education, it's kinder, prep, elementary, junior, and secondary high schools. So we are just about starting to, because of this Republic Act, to implement and integrate this GCE. Um, Unlike in the state universities and colleges, we have already in the curriculum. Okay, so the Philippine Normal University, our national university, has been active in, or the leading learning institution or university implementing GCED in the curriculum. So 25 to 30% of teachers have received specialized training in GCE. Europe and North America, 70%. In Asia, 50%, and this is really true. And in other countries in Asia Pacific, 30%. In the sub-Saharan Africa, only about 15%. All right. So all
Dr. De La
these
Cruz,
indicate that
just a
teachers
quick
train.
note. We have about 4 to 5 minutes left for the session. So I'm not sure if you'd
All right.
like to continue with your presentation or rather wrap up and perhaps open the floor for some concluding remarks or questions.
All right. All right. So for the learning outcomes, 40% higher engagement in civic activities. And in terms of challenges and barriers, approximately 45%, okay, educators globally lack, okay, site lack of resources. And okay, let me jump now to my, sorry for my quite long discussion or presentation. So, okay, I'm sorry. So for conclusion, bridging the gap between global citizenship education and local curricula is crucial for preparing future generations to navigate an increasingly complex world. And by fostering a sense of global awareness alongside local engagement, educational system can empower students being responsible and resilient global citizens. Integrating global citizenship education into local curricula by contextualizing global issues within local realities, educators can cultivate a generation of informed citizens who are equipped to contribute positively to their communities and broader world. So for recommendation, there is need for policy recommendation. And for a future outlook, by 2030, there shall be an increased emphasis on GCE as, okay, it is projected to contribute to global peace, diversity, acceptance, and sustainable development. Okay. And so challenges of integration, so curricular constraints, assessment practices, resource limitations, and cultural resistance. So I have here some rhetorical questions. I will leave this for you as a challenge. And let me leave with you my tagline. GCED, my call, your call, our call. So this tagline conveys that engaging in GCED is a personal commitment, a shared responsibility among peers, and a collective endeavor that impacts the broader community. So this highlights the importance of individual actions contributing to unified efforts towards fostering global citizenship, encouraging everyone to recognize their role in promoting values such as empathy, social justice, and sustainability. So for the rightful honors of my presentation, here are the references. So thank you so much. And
Thank you.
yes,
Thank
Philip,
you
I'm
so
done with my
much
presentation. Thank
for
you so
these.
much.
Thank you for these wonderful insights, Dr. De La Cruz, which touched on so many different aspects, including curriculum development, but also teacher training and local realities, which of course differ from region to region. Now, I see that we are strapped for time, but I do see there is one question that was posed by an audience member. By a teacher from India, potentially. If I'll just read it out, namely, how can countries with different levels of global citizenship education adoption, like those in Europe and the Asia Pacific, collaborate to support regions where global citizenship education integration faces significant challenges?
Okay, how countries with different okay, what was that again?
So I believe the question is centered around how can countries with different sort of local realities and approaches, perhaps through GCED, collaborate on a more global scale, if I understood the question correctly.
I guess UNESCO or APCEU in the Asia Pacific region is offering this training, and they have this online platform where where we can start collaborating. It offers a self-paced and instructor-led training, okay, for GCED. At the same time, like in our case in the Philippines, UNESCO and APCEU tap Philippine Normal University also in partnership with the Department of Education to really spread the good news, or to really tap schools bringing this GCED in learning communities. So with regard to networking, I think it's best that tapping with these organizations, no, through networking and exposure and engagement through UNESCO, because I believe that UNESCO is one appropriate organization. And aside from Global Citizenship Foundation, there are many organizations, and this forum, we can start networking and collaborating, since we are just neighbors in Asia. So perhaps we can tie up and start partnering.
Thank you very much. I'm afraid we'll have to wrap up here as we're strapped for time. But I do hope that this served as a valuable conversation starter, providing new ideas and additional momentum to keep the conversation going. Thank you all very much for joining. We do hope to be working and encountering each other again at some point in the future. Wholeheartedly thank you for your wonderful, interesting remarks, Dr. De La Cruz. And with this, I will hand over to